Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. It's Wednesday, so happy Wednesday to everyone out there. I'm a little tired. I probably sound tired. My husband and I saw Selma last night, and it was a really powerful and a bit traumatic of an experience. I cried through the whole thing, to be honest with you. And then when we got home, we stayed up pretty late talking about it. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little emotionally drained. But I wanted to make this video for you guys. I said I'd make a video for you, so I really wanted to make this video. Selma is a great, really, really important movie. It's powerful. It's brilliant. If it doesn't win Oscars, if it doesn't win Best Picture of the Year, Best Director, and Best Actor, it will be a slap in the face, really. And a slap in the face to Black people, and they should feel like this is literally like the Oscars telling them that they ain't shit, because the movie was just brilliant. Basically, as I'm sure you guys all know, they depict the Selma to Montgomery marches and movement of 1965, where, basically the backstory is, even though Black people, technically had the right to vote, they weren't able to vote, especially in the South, where, the racism and the segregation was still, going strong. They would show up to try to vote, and they would have to, fucking stand on their head and recite the alphabet backwards, crazy shit like that. And then you also have the violence and the terrorism that, white Americans were waging against Black Americans. The movie, I don't want to give spoilers and give anything away, but, the movie just really, really creates this, overwhelming portrayal and portrait of that time. And again, the terrorism, the overwhelming fear that a white person could kill you and get away with it. And one of the reasons why I found myself crying is because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, from 1965 to 2015, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, We're still living in fear. We're still living in fear that white people and white police officers in particular can kill us, choke us, gun us down, murder us, have it caught on camera, upload it on the internet, and nothing happens, and no one is brought to justice, and people actually end up getting paid vacations and paid time off and paid leave, and and here we are 50 years later, and everything is exactly the same. Really, it's gut-wrenching to watch. It's hard. It's really hard. There are some protest scenes that reminded me of being in Ferguson, of when I was in Ferguson, literally, As, they wait until the nighttime comes, and then the cops come out under the cover of the night after, the camera crews and the people have gone home for the most part, and they attack. They viciously attack people. I've seen it. So to watch it on the screen in 1965 and to be like, wow, okay, we can vote now, but they can still kill us, was hard. It was difficult. It was hard to watch. I was bawling my eyes out, honestly. And my husband's family is actually from Alabama. He has family in Selma. He has family in Montgomery, and people love to talk. And when I say people, mostly I mean white people, but all different kinds of people. People love to talk about, it was so long ago, and it was so far in the past, and we've come so far. And it's like, it's not. It's not. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. So hopefully you guys can see. Okay, so this is a picture of my grandmother and my grandmother's friends. And my grandmother graduated from high school in 1958. My grandmother's still alive. I could call her up on the phone right now. She graduated from high school in 1958. This march that's depicted in this movie takes place in 1965. So I know someone, still alive, known in my life, that I can call up and talk to right now, and they can tell me, my grandmother can tell me about, segregated lunch counters, not being able to sit at a counter, not being able to vote, not being able to go to a good school, not being able to get a job, getting spat on, getting spat on, getting beat up, getting called this, getting called that. And with my husband, it's the same thing. My husband's grandfather died last year. He was born and raised in Alabama. He died in Alabama. My grandmother graduated in 1958. She was 18 in 1958. She didn't get the right to vote for another 7 years. My grandmother. So it just really upsets me, and it really offends me, and it really makes me angry, furious to hear people say, oh, well, it's so far in the past, and it doesn't matter, and it's this, and it's that. Because for a lot of people, a lot of us, Black people especially, it's very present. It's now. It's our grandparents and our parents. And, on my father's side, my great-grandmother died when I was 13 years old. I knew her. Her mother was a slave. A slave. So it's just really hard. Everyone should go watch it. I know the way I'm making it sound, you're probably going to be like, I don't want to go fucking watch that shit and be sad and this and that, because it's really hard to watch, but you have to go watch it. You have to go watch it. And you have to really, watch it and have these hard conversations and ask yourselves, have we even progressed? What is progression? What is the next step? Slavery has only been over 150 years, which is nothing, which is the blink of an eye, and that's not even counting Jim Crow era segregation, which went on for, pretty much another 75 years after. We've really only been free this much amount of time. I saw on Tumblr once this really cool post where someone had made one of those flowcharts, and the flowchart had, amount of time we were slaves, and then amount of time that we were free under segregation, and then the amount of time that we've been free. And the chart was this much of the damn chart. If the chart was this long, more than half of it was us being slaves, and then this much was us under segregation, and then this little teeny tiny bit was us free, and it's hard, it's very real. It's honest. The movie, the acting is amazing. The direction is incredible. Ava DuVernay needs to be the first Black woman to win a Best Director Academy Award. She needs to be, she needs to win that. And it's just, and I'm watching it, and it's just you're watching this moment in time, but it could be now. It could be any moment. There are scenes where you see people back then using the exact, literally the same arguments and the same rhetoric that we hear people using now, oh, well, why won't they obey the law? The law tells them they have to fucking stand on their head and recite the alphabet backwards to vote. Why can't they just do that? Why do they have to march? Why do they have to protest? Why can't they just follow the law? The law's telling them what they need to do to vote. Why can't they follow it? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're here in 2015 hearing these same exact words and lines, It's just really, it's crazy, it's really crazy. They're trying to march, and this is and the cops over the bullhorn, exactly the same as in Ferguson. This is an unlawful assembly. Everyone needs to disperse. And then they're throwing the tear gas. Just like what I saw with my own eyes in Ferguson, Missouri in the 21st century, And it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's been a lot of angry white people, of course, and a lot of controversy, because if you ask a white person, just like how I can ask my grandmother, and my grandmother can tell me about fucking getting her ass beat by white people, if you ask a white person, every white person will act like none of their parents were racist. According to white people, white America was a fucking nation full of abolitionists and black sympathizers, and we're just making it up. We're like making up Jim Crow, and we're making up slavery. Like, if you ask white people, they'll be like, well, my ancestors and my parents and my grandparents would never. They were yes, they were. They motherfucking were. Go ask grandma and gramps, and they were. Okay, they were spitting on the niggers at the lunch counter. They were. You know. And they want to say, like, oh, it's so far in the past and it doesn't matter. And, you know, it's just like, shut up. Shut up. You know, there's all this controversy going around Lyndon B. Johnson, and they're saying how someone had the audacity to say, oh, Selma was actually LBJ's idea, with this revisionist history, completely erasing Martin Luther King Jr. and James Bevel and all the black people that fought and died, you know, for those marches. If it was so fucking easy, there wouldn't have been a march. The president could have just fucking passed the bill immediately to give black people the right to vote unencumbered. People died. People died. And there's this revisionist history going around about, like, oh, this is, like, inappropriate to depict the president in this way, and he wasn't like that. And again, ask a white person, racism is made up and imaginary, and Jim Crow never happened. It was only, like, 2 people doing it, and the rest of them were all amazing, wonderful, fucking magical white people that loved niggas, and there were no problems. And it's just so infuriating to hear that and to see that. You know, I go to look up Selma on Wikipedia. There's no plot. No one has entered a plot, but someone has damn sure entered a section about the controversy and the inaccuracies. Even though it's a movie, it's not a documentary. We're about to fucking go watch the 7th installment of Jurassic Park, where they bring dinosaurs back from the dead. Like, it's absurd. It's absurd. There's all this anger floating around, black people wanting to talk about race. They really just want to pretend it's in the past, and even get to the point where they could really revise history and say that it never happened. You know, like, they just can't wait for all of our fucking grandparents and parents to die off, you know. Here's another picture of my grandmother. I don't know if you guys can see the date, but it says on the side, December 58. 58. White people that are watching this, go ask your grandparents what they were doing in 1958. Because I can ask my grandma and she could tell me. Just you know, crazy. And the audacity and the nerve to try to take even this from us. Well, it was LBJ's idea. Shut the fuck up, you fucking white devil. Like, that's really how it makes me feel when I hear stuff like that. It's so offensive to black people and to black leaders and to the people that died for this. You know, because you guys want your parents and grandparents to all be abolitionists and shit like that. That shit is just so annoying. Why do white people feel like black people fighting for equality and trying to, like, move forward this conversation about race and this and that is, like, taking something away from them? Like, I don't understand it. There's a scene in the movie where a white guy says, like, well, I don't understand why they, like, want the right to vote. Like, first they want the right to vote, and then they want equal opportunity housing, and then they want jobs. Where does it stop? Why do you feel like white people, why do you feel like black people wanting those things takes something away from you? We don't want to take anything away from you. We don't want to take your right to vote away from you, white people. We don't want to take your jobs away from you, white people. We don't want to take your housing away from you, white people. We don't want to take your good schools away from you. We don't want to take anything from you. We just want everything to be equal. We want to have the same opportunities that you have. And that's still the same today in 2015. We want to be able to walk down a street without being afraid that, you know, a cop, a security guard, or an armed vigilante can kill us and nothing happened. That doesn't mean we're trying to take anything away from you. And this is the same exact point that people made with this All Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter. White people feel like saying that Black Lives Matter is taking something away from them. We don't want to take anything from you. It's crazy. Like, y'all brought us here. We don't want to take anything. We just want equality. Equality. We're still fighting for equality at the end of the day. That's the message. And white people are still not trying to give us our just due. There. I'm going to include some links for you guys to definitely check out. Please go see it. I'm probably going to go see it again a couple more times now that I've seen it, and I hopefully have gotten the most of my, emotions out of the way. I can watch it again a little bit more objectively. So I'm going to see it at least one more time, maybe 2 more times. Please see it. Support. It's an excellent movie. Everyone should see it. This is like one of those type of movies that they should show like in school. Like, there's not a whole lot of cursing. There's no sex or anything like that. Like, it's just history. And not ancient history either. Not no faraway history either. Recent history. The past is not even the past, as the saying goes. It's now still going on. So watch it and check it out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's a little out there, but it's really just a response video. I guess I'll see you on Friday. I'm going to try and get my NAACP video up. If not Friday, then definitely Monday. Definitely Monday. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Food for thought as always. Anybody saying anything fucked up in the comment section is getting banned. The end. So don't even try it. I'm not even entertaining it. I'm not. I'm serious. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.